Here's a polished summary of Krog's journey so far, blending his personal story with the rich lore of Golarion. Krog's journey, the emissary's path. Born among the tangled streets and stonework of Alkenstar, or perhaps the lawless wastes of the Manor Wastes, Krog never knew his true origins. A monkey goblin, a rarity in civilized lands, he was found as a toddler, alone and vulnerable, by a wandering monk of Erastil, the stag god, the deity of family, tradition, and community. Rather than leave him to the wilds, the monk carried him back to their secluded monastery within Nex, a land of ancient arcane might and warring magical factions. The monks of Erastil, though devoted to the bow and the hunt, saw in Krog a spirit too restless for archery's patient discipline. Instead, he threw himself into hand-to-hand combat, his goblin agility making him a natural for the martial arts. He hated water, refusing to cross rivers without protest, avoiding the monastery's baths whenever possible. Perhaps it was a quirk of his upbringing, or something deeper, some unspoken fear rooted in the past he never knew. At 16, Krog's calling arrived. The monastery had long held ties to the distant city of Nantambu, the heart of the Magambia, the oldest and most prestigious magical academy in the Inner Sea. But the Erastil temple there had fallen on dark times, its influence waning, its halls crumbling, its people scattered. The elders in Nex could do little from afar, but they could send an emissary. Krog was given an object of great importance, a relic, a symbol, or a message from Erastil's faithful, and tasked with carrying it to the struggling monastery in Nantambu. His journey took him across the southern reaches of Nex, where the wonders of Quantium and the towering spires of Wizard Kings stood in stark contrast to the humble ways of his monastic life. He travelled across the Aspis Consortium-controlled trade routes, wary of those who sought to exploit lone travellers. He crossed into the steaming heart of the Mwangi Expanse, where the jungle swallowed the land and civilization became pockets of light in a sea of green. Now, Krog stands before the gates of the monastery in Nantambu, the weight of his mission pressing upon his shoulders. The air is thick with the scent of rain and earth, the distant hum of jungle insects filling the silence. Beyond the gates, the fate of the monastery, and perhaps his own destiny awaits. But what he will find within, that only the dice will decide.
Hello friends and fellow adventurers, welcome back to my table. Today we are going to be playing the first session of Krog's mission. We're going to get the ball rolling. So last we left off, we left Krog standing in front of the gates of the monastery here in Nantambu. Krog has been tasked with bringing some type of object. We do not know what that object is yet, but we are going to get to that very shortly. He was sent from his monastery in Nex here to Nantambu to assist the monastery here because they have fallen on some hard times. Their attendance is low, their temple is kind of falling to ruin. There's not enough worshippers and monks here to help with all the chores that need to be done. In the past, this temple used to be highly trafficked. This used to be a very popular place. Many worshippers for Erastil. But recently, the worshippers, probably within the past 10 or 15 years, even longer than that, it's just been slowly declining. Everything's been slowly falling in disrepair. So they were in contact with the monastery in Nex, and they sent us, Krog, our monkey goblin. As he pushes open the doors and he looks inside the monastery, he can see the temple gardens have overgrown. The jungle is beginning to reclaim the buildings that are abandoned looking. Some of them, in fact, are abandoned. It appears only one building where whatever monks are left sleep and then probably eat in that same building. The temple looks relatively taken care of. It seems to be the only building that these monks have been able to pay their attention to, along with their chores, their training, and their typical daily lifestyle. So as Krog is making his way through these overgrown trails, it takes him a good minute before he even sees another monk. And as he does, he greets them.
Hello. I am Krog.
We need a little more rasp in our voice.
Hello. Hello. Okay, rasp. Rasp, but goblin rasp. Greetings, monk. I am Krog, a fellow worshipper of Erastil. I am an emissary of the Nexian Monastery. I was sent here. I believe word was sent ahead of me. I come bearing a gift from our monastery to you. Perhaps could you point me in the direction of the elder here? I believe his name is...
And that's where we are going to figure out who this guy is. I'm going to use my little Pathfinder deck of endless NPCs here, and I will be right back. Alright, so it looks like our elder here, the head monk of this monastery, is a kobold that goes by the name of Kriktos. So the monk nods his head and gives Krog a bow as well, and he says, "Yes, our head monk is named Kriktos, and I believe right now he is down near the wash doing laundry. It is a pleasure to meet you, Krog. A fellow Erastil is always welcome here." Krog nods and humbly bows, and he makes his way down to where the monk points. And with that, we have a name now to add to our character list that I've filled out a couple things here. On the threads, I just put Restore the Monastery because it's kind of our only and main goal currently right now, aside from delivering this object, but we're going to complete that right now, so that did not need to be on the threads list. Characters lists, I just put generic, the fellow monks, that's just all inclusive there, but I will add Kriktos. We'll just call him the elder of the monastery. I also put Nantambu as a character, that way if whatever randomly happens, maybe it could be a variety of things. It could be a town guard, it could be citizens of the town. That way it's just kind of like a very open-ended character for later, and then same goes for the jungle creatures. And now we have Kriktos, the elder. So Krog makes his way down to the wash area. A small stream kind of goes through the back part of the monastery here, where the monks will wash themselves, wash their clothes, get fresh water if they need. It's a very beautiful small stream that runs through here, probably connected to the larger river nearby. Once again, Krog, he sees the kobold bend down, washing the clothes, folding them, drying them, doing his thing.
Excuse me, Elder Kriktos. I'm Krog. I believe word was sent ahead of me. I am from the Nexian Monastery. I come bearing a gift for you.
Ah, yes, Krog. Hello. Your arrival is very welcomed. As I'm sure I don't need to tell you, our monastery has seen better days.
Ah, yes, I did seem to notice that on my way down here. But no worries, I am very capable. And I will ensure that this place gets restored, be that raising the attendance, cleaning the yard, whatever needs to be done. I am at your disposal.
Oh, thank you, Krog. That is very welcome. And what is this gift that you bring us? my first question, we're at Chaos Factor. Okay, let's do this right now. Deliver object. That's gonna be our first scene of the game. Now our Chaos Factor is 5 to begin with, as is always. So, was Krog informed of what this object was before he was sent here? I'll say it's 50-50. Perhaps the elders have a secret object that only other elders are allowed to see, or something like that. We'll find out. So 50-50. Does Krog know what object he bears? 34, yes he does. Now we need to find out what object that is. Krog might know, but we do not know. Alright, on the objects table, we have 5 and 64. 5 is bizarre, and 64 is mundane. Bizarre and mundane. Well, those two words contradict each other. Tell you what, we'll roll once more to try to get a little more out of that. Squeeze a little more juice out of this. $56 liquid and 91 unexpected. Okay, something that contradicts itself. And it's a liquid. At least we had one defining adjective, liquid. Some type of liquid. Bizarre, unexpected, liquid, mundane. It's a lot of words. I'm going out on a limb here and thinking... Okay. Fate chart. Is this some sort of holy water? Perhaps like a holy water for anointing new members into the place? Okay, let's just ask that. 50-50, is this some type of holy water? 61, no it is not. It's not a type of holy water. Is it... Okay, this is another idea I had. It was a little funnier. I'm thinking perhaps he has a sample of some type of alcohol or beverage that they would drink along with a recipe to be able to brew more. And maybe that would be an attraction that could bring, you know, curious people in, bring some newcomers. I think that's likely. We'll bump that up to likely. 44, yes, and we have our first random event. Awesome. Okay, so it is some type of beverage, be it alcoholic or not. And a recipe. So he was sent here to maybe start up some type of, I wouldn't call it a business, but like a business model, something to entice new people to come and join the monastery. I like that. Okay, now we need to figure out the random event. So once again, we roll our percentile dice. We have a 56, which is going to be move away from a thread. Now, we only have one thread right now, which is restore the monastery. So a random event of moving away from restoring the monastery. Alright. And I think that is going to be some type of action. So how are we moving away from restoring the monastery? On the actions table, we have 71 punish and 51 Punish and imitate. Okay, I like that. And immediately I'm thinking punish and imitate. So as Krog delivers this object, the bottle of the brew they have. Tell you what, is this just to figure out, is this alcoholic? 50-50. 99 extreme no. It is not alcoholic. In fact, it is some type of juice. Okay. I like that. It's some type of juice. And along with this one bottle of sample juice that he bears, he also has a packet full of seeds to grow more of this fruit, because they are not native to the Mwangi Expanse, but the fertile grounds are a perfect place to begin growing new crops of this fruit. I like that. Okay. So Krog shows the bottle.
This is a delicious juice that we squeeze from a fruit native to the land of Nex.
And he uncorks the bottle and he hands it to Kryktos. Kryktos looks it, swirls it around a little bit, sniffs it. It has a very sweet, pungent smell to it. He takes one sip, kind of registers it for a minute, and he takes a couple more sips.
Huh. Well, that is quite good.
And what is it I'm supposed to do with this? It's just one bottle, and you say you have some seeds, but
In Nex,
Krog kind of cuts him off.
In Nex, this juice is highly sought after. And we have fields near our monastery where we grow it. I know how to cultivate it, and I know how to squeeze it properly, and how to pasteurize it, to boil it, to make it sweeter even than the juice alone. And the elders of our monastery believe that this could attract newcomers. They get a taste of this in the local taverns, ask where it came from, and when they hear the Temple of Erastil, this might entice them and come check it out. It may be a long shot, but it is something.
Kryktos kind of looks at it again. He wants to take another drink, but he knows there's not much left, and he wants to share this with some of his brothers to get them on board. Not that they would necessarily need to be, because they want their monastery to grow as well, but he wants to share with his brothers and sisters.
This is good. I think that's not too bad of an idea, Krog.
But, you see, I have a bit of a problem. Yes, attendance is low. Yes, this place could use some fixing up, which would require money. But unfortunately, we have... how do I put this? Some imitators. People pretending to be followers of Erastil. And they have actually, in fact, been harassing people outside of the city, travelers coming to and from the city of Nantambu. And they are wearing our insignias and our robes, pretending to be us, to sully our name for some reason. We don't have the manpower here to root out this problem. We have attempted to encounter these folks, but when we make our way down these roads where people have been assaulted or robbed, there's nothing there, no one to be seen, but yet on the other side of the city, it happens. And we just don't know what to do. So I fear that even if this juice were to catch on big, the fact that people heard it was coming from here would, for lack of a better word, leave a bad taste in their mouth.
But if we could clear this up, resolve it somehow, maybe bring these people to justice, and show the people around here that it is not truly us that are doing it. Perhaps that itself would bring a few members, and then on top of it, we can get these seeds planted and begin the process of getting that made. And maybe combination of these two things could begin to regrow our beautiful monastery. And immediately, Krog needs no more convincing.
Imitators of Erastil. This burns inside of me. That is sad news, but I will discover who is behind this and why they are doing this. But since I was sent here, I am in your service. So, if it is your wish, that is what I will do.
Yes, of course, Krog. If you think you are up to it, I would greatly appreciate that. All of us here would greatly appreciate that. And Kriktos is kind of like still wringing out some of his laundry, putting it aside, hanging it up on the clotheslines. But your journey here must have been long and arduous. Please, let me finish this laundry and we will make our way to the eating hall, where we can at least feed you and we can all catch up. Krog humbly nods his head and he follows Kriktos up the hill back to one of the better looking buildings on this monastery. Okay, so with that, let's go to our threads list. Okay, so threads and characters. Let's add one to the characters list, and that is going to be imitators of Erastil. Awesome, and now a threads list is root out the imposters. Perfect, cool. So moving away from the thread, I think that accurately moves away from the thread of restoring the monastery. And now we have a goal, so that really helped us out, even though it sucks for the monastery here. That gives us conflict, and that gives us a direction for Krog to focus his fury. And also, that went on a little bit longer than I even anticipated. Nothing much really happened, but I do think I'm going to stop this session there. We have a direction. We met a couple new characters. We met just a random monk, and then we met Kriktos, the Elder. Perfect, okay. It was short, it was sweet, and we will pick up next time where we left off. So, Krog and Kriktos make their way up the muddy bank, up to the eating hall, where they are going to sit down and dine, and talk to the others. Fill them in on what Krog brought, and his plans to help out here. So perfect. Thank you all so much if you stuck around. And as always, have a good day, and I will see you next time. Goodbye, friends.